What will you do if the elevator crashed down and you are in it? First of all, every elevator is fastened by several strong cables that make a falling accident nearly impossible, but you don't know when the bad luck knocks on your door. There are plenty of myths and superstitions linked to people's actions when an elevator is falling down. Let's discuss. Myth number 1. Keep jumping. They assume you know exactly when the elevator is going to hit the ground, so just before that you make the jump. What an interesting theory that puzzles the community of physicists. It assumes that the wind speed, the free fall speed, and the elevator weight are all calculated and known to you. So before the elevator hits the ground, you solve the equation and jump, and you will be fine like a fallen feather. Bravo, you know what? See you in the afterlife. Myth number 2. Stand upright like a soldier to absorb the shock. They assume your knees are made of steel, which are not. In the crashing point, you are not going to absorb the shock. Instead, you might find your knees moved up to your shoulders. And the same applies to the myth that suggests to bend your knees, because the outcome is a bowl of meat. Myth number 3. Spider-Man posture. This posture means hanging in the air, arms on one side and legs on the other side of the elevator. This myth assumes that when the elevator hits the ground, you will go down by a few inches. But no, my dear friend, when the elevator hits the ground, you will rapidly hit the floor, like a sandwich being snapped. So, what is the right thing to do? Number 1. Inside the elevator, try not to stand in the center because it's the most vulnerable place to receive the shock. And also keep away from the elevator's mirror to avoid the scattered fragments of the glass. Number 2. Lay down on your back. Bend your knees up and level your head. This is the best position you can take because you distribute the shock to the whole body parts and thus mitigate the pressure. But hence, that doesn't mean you will survive, you just might. If you have luggage with you, stand on the top of them. They will absorb some of the shock power. And just remember, the whole crashing thing takes just seconds, so you must act very quickly. Tips before you step inside the elevator. Number 1. Examine the building you are getting in. If it is old or shaky, you might consider taking stairs instead. It is good for your health anyway. Number 2. Avoid crowded elevators. Few minutes late but alive and kicking is far better than a few minutes earlier but kicking the bucket. Number 3. Avoid using elevators late at night. If anything happens, you may not find a single person awake to help you. And if you must, make sure that the elevator has an emergency button. Number 4. Remember that when the elevator breaks down and you are locked inside, breathing will not be an issue and you are not going to suffocate unless you have a medical condition like asthma. Elevators are designed to keep the flow of air, so don't panic. You need not worry about suffocation. You need to worry about your fears taking control. The bottom line is elevators are mostly safe, but you have to be prepared for the worst because you don't know when luck decides to leave you.